Justin, I asked Pat because he's from South Florida. He's been here longer.
Uh-oh.
Are you a Heat fan? Were you a Heat fan? I know you go to lots of Nuggets games. So how do your allegiances line up?
It's a great question. A good amount of my family is Heat fans, but I grew up a Kobe fan, so I naturally just cheered for the Lakers most of my life. But I think it'd be pretty cool to see the Nuggets win the finals. So that's what I'm going for.
Are you going?
I'm going tonight. That might be the only one, but I'll be there tonight to support. That's for sure.
Justin, how big is it to have Kareem Jackson back in the secondary?
Yeah, it's huge. Kareem, I feel like I've said it time and time again. I think he's one of the most underrated players, and I think especially when we're talking about what we do and how we do it in the defensive end, and so it's huge having Kareem back.
Pat was talking about how, kind of finding his voice as a leader going into year 3 is something he's focused on. As you progressed as a young, talented player who was coming up, how did you sort of go about finding how and when to kind of take that mantle?
Yeah, I had great leadership my whole career, even now. I think when I got in here with TJ, Stu, obviously I had Vaughn for a few years, Keeb, DeMarcus Ware for a year, Brandon Marshall, DT. I mean, the list goes on. And so I think for me, it was just taking bits and pieces of their leadership style and just figuring out how to mold it into what I do best and how to go about that. And I don't think there's any one particular way. Some guys lead by example. Some guys are more, motivational, things like that. But I think Pat is just doing a great job being himself, and he'll continue to grow in that aspect. And when you're talking about one of the best corners in the league, guys will just naturally follow you the way that you're leading anyway. So,
Justin, when you say he's the number one corner in football, what does that specifically do, for a defense and for you in the middle of the field? What advantages does having someone of that caliber do for the back end?
Yeah, it does a lot. And obviously there's so many great corners in our league and so many guys that I respect and how they play the game and how well they play that position so hard in today's league. And obviously I'm biased. I'm with Pat every day. I see how he breaks down the film, and I see how he effortlessly matches certain concepts when it's a lot harder for others and things in that nature. So being out there every day, having the reps with them, coming to work with them, it's honestly, it's just pure joy. Being able to work with him, he makes my job so much easier. He makes, all of their 10 guys on the field with them's job so much easier. And he's going to be doing that for years and years to come. But having him back there, for us, it just it's like I said, the easiest way to say it is it makes our job so much easier, almost knowing you can eliminate one side of the field. So.
How well did you get to know Zach Allen when you guys passed through it? Were teammates for a year at Boston College, and just your thoughts on him?
Yeah, Zach's great. I think he was a freshman when I was a senior, so we had a lot of dialogue. We were really good defensively my senior year, and a lot due in part to some of the talented guys that are in the league today: Zach, Harold Landry, John Johnson, and there's a few others. And so Zach and I, we definitely go back. It's been nice catching up with them. We're basically locker mates now too, so it's been nice catching back up with them.
How has Caden Stearns looked, and what is he showing out here the last few weeks?
Yeah, Caden's looked really good. Obviously, I know he missed, most of the season last year with the injury, but he's been rehabbing hard. He's been taking care of his body really well, and it's been fun, out there communicating with each other and figuring things out. Obviously, with the new scheme that VJ's bringing and things like that. So, Caden's been great. He looks great, and I'm excited for him.
Throughout your career, you've had different coaches here, position coaches. What's it like for you to have CP back in the building for you this year?
Yeah, CP's huge. Like I just said, with the new scheme, you got to have someone that's kind of the bridge there. And so, having the same coach that's been in the same system with us the past few years, and he's up there in the war room with, VJ and the rest of the staff, he's able to break things down for us in a way that if a new coach came in, he might not be able to. He knows us well. We know him well. He's able to marry certain things together. So it's great having him back.
How is VJ now compared to VJ when he was coaching here back 2017, 2018?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is, he was a head coach. And so, back then there wasn't as much dialogue. Obviously he's with the defense, but couldn't be too hands-on as much as you want to be just because so many more things you have to take care of. Now that I feel like I've talked to him now more in the past few weeks than really had the opportunity to when he was a head coach, just because now he's in the meeting rooms more. He's able to coach the little things up, and we're talking formations, this, that, and the other. And so that's pretty much, the main difference. He seems the same guy that I remembered him to be. And, I loved him when he was here as a head coach. So I'm really thankful that we got him again.
What's the youth with Brandon McManus going? What's it like to be the longest tenured player on the team?
Yeah. It's a little surreal. I think, for me, when I say surreal, it's more on the hurt side, just because, and I don't mean that from any negotiations or anything like that. I just mean from a friendship standpoint. I built bonds with those guys, like Vaughn. I talked about, Brandon, guys that have been around. I built relationships with them. Families know each other really well, and your kids kind of grow up together, and so that's kind of the things that I think about. So I feel for them in that regard, but just because they go play for other teams doesn't mean the friendship is fading by any means. But that's kind of what I think about.
Justin, Sean Payton was talking today about Greg Dulcich and sort of his traits that can create mismatches at different parts of the field. From your perspective in the back end, what makes him, I guess, challenging from a mismatch perspective?
Yeah, Greg's an extremely talented tight end. I think he just does everything really well, and I think that's kind of the challenge. He blocks well. He runs his routes. All his routes kind of look the same off the start, and that could be challenging when you're trying to get a read in the first couple steps, especially if you're not really bringing pressure. You're kind of just relying on playing, certain leverages and things like that. But I think Greg's done a great job, and it's nice to see him out there. He's healthy. He looks great. So I can't wait for him, and can't wait to see the success that he brings, obviously, with the team, and having him just makes us a better football team.
Schematically speaking, is what VJ is doing now, does this have any similarities with what you guys were doing the last few years, or is this more like what you guys were doing in 2017, 2018?
Yeah, I think a lot of that's still being ironed out. It's hard. You got a lot of guys that have been in a certain system one year, and then VJ is obviously really good at what he does, and so I think all of that's still being ironed out, and we'll kind of keep ironing out heading into camp as well.
So you've been here, you've seen this team hit the reset button a few times now, with changing the head coach and everything. How do you approach that now? Do you hold back your enthusiasm on a new regime, or what do you do emotionally?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, I wouldn't say I hold back, my enthusiasm. I think for me, there's been a few constants that's helped, right? I think you talked about having CP back in the building, obviously having Kareem back. Most of the guys in the DB room have been pretty consistent, and there's a lot of still normal there. And obviously with the coaches, there's obviously a lot of new, but I still get excited. I mean, I still get to play the game, at the highest level that I've wanted to do since I was little. And sounds like a cliche response, but for me, I try not to take that for granted. And so that's kind of the mindset each and every year. Just really thankful, because I know a lot of guys can't do that.
Justin, how's it going?
Justin, what is a Sean Payton practice? Like, how would you describe it now that you've had a couple under your belt? What is a practice under him as your head coach?
Yeah, I think if I had to sum it up in one word, I'd say educational. It's he's really good at explaining how he wants things done and why it's being done. And I think it gives a great purpose to everyone, before and after each, said period of whatever it is.
Well, and beyond that, you had 3 straight first-time head coaches, so how different has it been having a guy that did it for a long time at a high level and obviously won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, there's subtle differences, but I think that kind of tells the tale of itself. You have someone that knows what they're doing, has done it, years and years and years, and has been successful at it. And so you can kind of see how those details stack up as the days go on. And we're still in the early stages of OTAs, and so I'm excited to see the progression from OTA to minicamp to camp and to the preseason and then into the season.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.